Happy New Year, everyone. For most of us, we celebrate during a week. For myself, there's something else. My name is Mario Bellavance, and I'm the founder of Blue Heron Cooling Tower, Inc. And I started to work on January 6th, 1995. And that was the beginning of my journey in the cooling tower industry. And 30 years may appear a long time, and it's true, but I will present it to you through three big events. And of course, the first one was the meeting with Mr. Vincent Drapeau in my hometown of Sorel-Tracy. During a dinner that we had together, he asked me, "Can you tell me something about cooling tower?" And I say, "Of course, there is cross-flow cooling tower and counterflow cooling tower." And that was almost everything I could say on the subject, because thanks to the university, we didn't teach, I didn't learn about anything about that. We discussed about heat exchanger and all sort of thing like that. But cooling tower was the end of the list, and we had 15 minutes. But believe it or not, with this presentation, Mr. Drato, who was the owner of a cooling tower company, hired me, and then we get together and fly to a northern city of Quebec, and we discuss with the customer, and a few days later we had been rewarded by a project, and that filled my heart to the top, and that was my first step. So during that time, I also met Mr. Marcel Lefebvre, late Mr. Marcel Lefebvre, but he teaches me about performance tests of cooling tower, and I'm very grateful for his help, and that was very useful for me. And I also spoke with Mr. Bob Berger, who wrote a book on cooling tower technology, which has been my book for years, learning about the science of cooling tower. And that was almost everything that I had during that time. And thanks to Mr. Vincent Drapeau to have introduced me to the world of the cooling tower. And during that time, I also had started my master in management of engineering at the university. And during that course, I had to do a project. And for me at that time, I was very passionate about creativity. And I wanted to build an institute of creativity, thinking that is the omega of everything. And I was very mindful about that. But my mentor thought differently. She asked me, "Who are you, Mario?" And I had to say, "I am an engineer. I am a professional engineer." And she said to me, "Do a professional project, an engineering project." And then I start a project of designing an innovative cooling tower. And during that process, I had difficulty to find financement. And because of that ended the project. And I had to go forward, because during that time, I already founded the cooling tower, Blue Heron Cooling Tower, Inc. And I had to find a way to have income. So I started to repair, but at the same time I did performance tests. I have just an example for you to understand how performance tests on the field can help the user to better understand their technology. One somewhere, the cooling tower in the industry was like an industrial plant. It was just beside a big reservoir of water, and there was a cross-flow cooling tower. We took the temperature on one side of the cooling tower and on the other side with a psychometer. And to our surprise, the temperature was very different. And then that shows us that the performance of the cooling tower was really affected by this reservoir. So there was a difference between what was uh, the by design the performance of the cooling tower and the real one on the field, and that helped. And I had a few examples like that I learned that having a cooling tower performance test on the field can help the user having the best performance for the cooling tower. And during that time, I had really difficulty to have a. So I met someone else, which is an engineer, because I thought I could quit at that time. That was too hard. And this engineer told me there's only the one who quit who doesn't succeed. And he offered me to start a course on cooling tower. And because he had a school for the people to perfectionate themselves in the HVAC. So I started the course on that, and I worked around 3 months to put everything together, the slide and the words and all the, that will be easy for for those who will attend the seminar. So I did a seminar for 1 day and a half. At this moment, I say that is crazy. But at that time, I wanted so much to share my knowledge that I did it. So this leads me to the third event, which is a turning point in my career. In January 2010, I went in Orlando at the ASHRAE meeting over there, Expo. And after a day of networking, I say maybe we should attend a seminar. And I found a seminar on prevention of Legionnaires' disease. And I was there with a woman, and she didn't know anything about even cooling tower or Legionnaires' disease, but she was very curious to see all these people from all over the world being very interested by the subject. And we went home in South Tracy again. And after a few weeks, she called me and she said, my cousin contracted Legionnaires' disease. I thought first that she wanted to laugh at me, but after a while I knew that it was very serious. And 3 days later, I was in the funeral home to put my sympathy to the family. And from that time, Legionnaires' disease was not an abstraction for me, but he has the real face or the real person, which was a mother, a family, a husband, the children in a sorrow. And that note touched my heart. And second, 2 years later, in Quebec City, there's been the big outbreak, which were 181 persons get infected and 14 of them died. In consequence of that, government of Quebec adopted a regulation for the cooling tower owner. And then I started to apply maintenance program according to this regulation. And I so teach the people how to understand what is going on. And through that, I gain experience about the subject, and my only goal was to share it with the world. So a year later, I went to Alger for a first seminar over there. I was the first to speak about the subject there. And then I went to the state making speech in Orlando, not in Orlando, I'm sorry, in New Orleans, in Houston. I presented a poster in Baltimore, and that started my actual journey to prevent Legionnaires' disease. I wrote book recently, and I see all these books and how they are very useful to understand what to do. I won't present the book in all these pages, but let me about the point that I present a way which is a multi-barrier risk management program. Why a multi-barrier program? Because in basic, preventing Legionnaires' disease, we must identify the risk and then treat it. So as many risk factor that you identify and you treat, the safer your system is. So this is it. And for the moment, after 30 years, all what I presented to you, I could enjoy a good life with my wife in Ivory Coast, where I am now for the last 2 months. And I just wrote a book about the love that she inspired me as a singer. The book is called Malaika, and that's what my passion about writing and speaking. And of course, that will be for myself. But a few days ago, I had an inner voice telling me that there's still a lot to do according to Legionnaires' disease. And what should I do to go further? And I found that was necessary to go from the words in the book to the reality. What does it mean? Actually, 1 in 8 put as a step as having a multidisciplinary team. And this is what I would like to build in the future. But for that, I need a partner. So the question is, do you know a partner who will like to be a partner with me? And this is the end question of these 30 years, because a cooling tower is not only a technology to cool the water, but it's a technology at risk to transmit Legionnaires' disease. And because of that, we must take care of both things. Make sure that the cooling tower works, but at the same time, it works safely. And this is the duty of a multidisciplinary team. And this is why I ask it again. Do you know someone who would like to be my partner in that great challenge at the eve of the 50th anniversary of the discovery of Legionella, which will be in next year? So we have that on the table for the year coming. So that are the glass for the past that I present to you, the great victory that I had, but also for the things coming on. So cheers.